So hi, hi to all. I think that we can start. Speaker are there. Welcome to all. This session is for reporting for the Global Climate Smart Agriculture Youth Network, the results from COP27. So I'm Domenico. I'm the focal point from Italy. So before starting, I want to leave the floor to Mr. Divine to give a greet and like welcome the session. So Divine, I give the floor to you for welcoming, and then we will go on the reporting and on the brief discussion on what's happening on COP27. So Divine, the floor to you.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello. Yes. Good afternoon. Good evening, everyone. Good morning, wherever you are. Domenico, I'm so proud of you as always. Thanks very much for organizing very important meeting. And as I speak to you, actually the UNCCD is going on. The COP15 is going on in Canada, Montreal, and I think it's a very good opportunity for us to make sure that the outcome of this meeting is shared. I'll be happy to have the registration link or the recording to send to Canada for them to be abreast that we are not sleeping as far as the COP27 outcomes are concerned. So I'm very, very happy indeed. And I think we have come to a point where we don't just want to be attending meetings, but want to make sure that we actually implement at the level of CSAYN all the outcomes. That's why, as of this year, we have the COP27 that just ended. We have the UN General Assembly that just ended, where next year there's going to be the SDG Summit to discuss on the outcomes, how far the SDG have been implemented so far, or domesticated or localized in all countries. So by September, the whole world will convene or converging in New York for the SDG Summit. It's for that reason we thought that it's very, very important to join efforts with all of you to report back on the COP27, which is actually sticking to the climate change agreement, the Glasgow Pact, and then now we're going to be talking about the outcome from Egypt. Yes, so I think it's very, very important that we actually make sure that we lay more emphasis on the SDGs. So far, so good. We have been trying. And this year, between now and 2023, by June, July, we should be able to make sure that at the level of CSAYN and across all the centers of excellence, we've been able to achieve maximum number of the SDGs. All the members, all the partners, all the institutions, all the centers of excellences should be abreast about the SDGs. And much more importantly, the local community. That's why we have this African Youth African Youth for SDG training, which trains and mobilizes young people, community leaders in their local languages, in domestication and localization of SDGs. So please, let's all bear in mind about this, because without the SDGs, we cannot actually have peace, we cannot have the sustainable development goals achieved. That's why we've signed a couple of partnerships with very, very strong institutions working on peace building, conflict resolution, and peace processes. So I'm very, very happy. Thank you, Domenico, for your excellent work. You're really doing great, and we are looking forward to having you in Cameroon very, very, very soon. Thank you very much. Over to you. And I really welcome our guest. I really don't know him, but I'm happy that he took out his time, busy as he is, to be part of this reporting framework. So thank you very, very much, and looking forward to the fruitful deliberations. I'm here.
Thank you very much, Divine, for your introduction. And now I will make a brief presentation just to introduce and frame the work, and then I'll give the floor to our guest, our special guest, that is Herwig. Going deep on the topic that I focus on my introduction. I think that will be also the chance also to that the other member of GCSAYN that was in COP27, Ropa. I don't know if she can be able to connect, but that's actually to say that we were more of people that was joining the COP27. But I will start my presentation on like giving a frame on what is COP27 and what's basically has obtained. So, as you may know, COP27 is one of the process that is inside the UNFCCC. UNFCCC is the frame, like the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change, that is since 1992 is organizing the Conference of Parties. Conference of Parties are like the assemblies of states that are gonna decide and deal about common strategy, global strategy to face climate change. The Conference of Parties are like one of the part of course of the structure that you have to proceed. It is made by the Secretariat and all the different bodies, as well as the constituencies. Among the constituencies, there is also the farmer constituencies. What's happening actually in COP27 and what is a COP? A COP is an assembly of the representative of states that are going to discuss the global agreements on climate change. Actually, we are under the Paris Agreement that is like asking the states to commit on three main, we can say, pillars that are adaptation, adapt to the current effects of climate change, mitigation, that is reducing greenhouse gas emissions, so the cause of climate change, and also the streamline regarding loss and damage. So to obtain funds and resources to give the possibility of the already hit communities and states to have funds and resources to recover from the damage. So what was the mission of the COP27? This COP was claimed very much about implementation. So implement the Paris Agreement. Paris Agreement was signed in 2015, Paris. From Paris to now, especially the COP of Katowice, COP24, and the last COP before this in Glasgow provides rule books, so a series of rules and organizational matters regarding the implementation of Paris Agreement. But now was important to implement. So what does it mean implement? First of all, cover financially all the measures that are provided by the Paris Agreement. I think that you all are very aware of this topic, so I will go a little bit fast on that. But maybe if there is like the chance, we can go in deep during the question time. So the Sharm el Sheik COP27 was held into the Tonino and Lamborghini Conference Center, but actually there was also other areas that during the 2 weeks of negotiation were has been object of events and conferences and so on. Especially there was like the Tonino Lamborghini as a main center, the blue zone where the negotiations were running, but also there were a green zone where like private sector, universities, innovations, startups had their stands and they held their also events. We participated also there with ROPA. It was a very interesting area also to meet people, meet like possible stakeholders and so on. So you can find on the map a little bit the organization, and also you can find from this screenshot of the website which were the main goals of this COP. So, as I say, mitigation, so finding a way to reduce and at least to stop the greenhouse gas emissions from the states. Adaptation this was the COP of adaptation, especially because it was in Africa. Africa is one of the region that is most hit by climate change, and was important to, in this COP especially, to find ways and solutions to adapt, to respond of the current phenomena that are and effects related to climate change. And then finance, of course, as I said, we need to cover the $1 billion per year that was estimated as like financial coverage for the measure provided by the Paris Agreement. And of course, it was important to foster collaboration among states, especially on this measure. So it was important to like strengthen the cooperative approaches between the states for responding to the Paris Agreement. How was gone? Actually, here I summarize very, very briefly the main results. You can find more on the link that you find here with a more in-depth analysis. Historically, was like the opening of the loss and damage fund that was discussed since several times now. And actually, the fund will be active in 2 years from now and will support 150 countries that have been already hit by climate change and has been considered the most vulnerable ones related to climate change. Regarding mitigation, unfortunately, there was no relevant advancement respect to the COP27. In fact, there was no clear commitment and clear declaration about stopping from fossil fuel use. This is it was a little bit of a pity for this COP, but of course we can hope that in the further COP we can finally decide all globally to stop to emit through the use of fossil fuels. Solid foundation on global goal on adaptation from COP27. There was launched this Sharm el Sheik, Glasgow Sharm el Sheik work program on global goals of adaptation, where all the states were committed to provide a national adaptation plan and also to cooperate towards a global goal on adaptation. In fact, using, for example, the Santiago network, it was this network of collaboration and also of capacity building to help the most vulnerable countries to adapt to climate change. And actually this streamline of negotiation was quite at least solid in the foundation. Maybe then the guests can comment also on that a little bit. Finance, as I said before, there was the very goal to cover these $1 billion per year for covering the measure provided by the Paris Agreement. Unfortunately, we didn't reach the full coverage of this amount. Actually, it's been estimated that only the 85% of these funds has been funded. And so regarding finance, there is still a gap to be covered for the next negotiations. And very important point for our discussion, food system has been launched in Sharm el Sheik, a new program that considers also food system and of course agriculture as relevant for climate action. That is the Sharm el Sheik joint work, and our guests will go a little bit in deep on that. And finally, a very good result has been achieved by youth inclusion. In the final text of the decision of COP, youth has been mentioned as never has been before, and the work of the youth envoy Omnia El Orani, the Egyptian lady that was appointed by the presidency to manage the inclusion of youth into negotiation, into the process, and so on, has been resulted in a very good outcome. And in fact, the youth envoy has been recognized and also relevant for the further COP. So great, we can say, great job to Omnia and to all the team of the youths that have been really making vibrant this negotiation. And so these are a little bit an overlook about the results in general of the COP 2027. So these are coming from the cover decision of COP, and of course each streamline has more in-depth results that I invite you to follow up onto the UNFCCC website. So let's go on to our more interesting topic for our community regarding the food system agriculture. Here I reported where in the final text the agriculture and food system has been mentioned. First of all, in the preamble, where the food security and especially for vulnerable communities, has been recognized as relevant and as part of the decision. And of course, as I mentioned before, a great decision on agriculture with the establishment of the Sharm el Sheik joint work on implementation of climate action on agriculture and food security. Very important. Okay, sorry, a little problem of connection. I'm gonna end my presentation and then give the floor to our guest. So sorry for this glitch. Just 1 second. Okay, I was saying that one of the achievements of the system has been that has been recognized that the Sharm el Sheik work program, joint work on implementation of agriculture and food system. Very interesting the fact that agriculture and security have been put mentioned into the naming of this program, and this is a big achievement in general for food system. We will discover how. And just to conclude, here you can find how it's important to consider food system and impacts on food system on agriculture. That's why the discussion also on this element has been very vibrant, many also sometimes controversial, but finally good result has been obtained on this. Here you can find also some photos on our team, our delegation into the negotiation and also into the side event. The first start has been like the side event in which Ropa from Ethiopia was invited as a youth representative on pastoralism. Here we find both of us that were like signing a memorandum of understanding for the virtual academy that has been recently launched by Global Climate Smart Agriculture Youth Network, and maybe Divine will give more detail after. And also a final comment on IPCC work. Actually, IPCC during the days of the negotiation has been launched the summary for urban policymaker, and one of the very topic that IPCC wanted to foster into the discussion was the one of the climate resilient development. Divine was mentioning before about the SDGs and Sustainable Development Goals. So the sustainable development as a key pillar for communities. Now IPCC is what it wants to go a little bit also further, considering also climate as a relevant element to into the development, and also the risk related to climate events and adaptation as part of development. And so they have launched this climate resilient development concept that consider also the topic of ecosystem health and planetary health. that, for example, is very important for the food systems. So that's it on my side. I will give the floor to Herwig, that is our special guest. He also has been one of the negotiators for EU regarding the agriculture and food system negotiation streamline. So, Herwig, I will give you the floor to go in deep and to let us know a little bit about the Sharm el Sheik joint work that has been raised in COP. Thank you.
Yeah, let me just choose the right camera. So, okay. To go immediately into the subject, let's start with the good news is that we actually had an outcome, wasn't so sure. We had been discussing the same topic for a long time already. We knew we had positions that were totally apart for some countries at least. But what did we agree on? Well, we took the outcome of the Goronivia joint work on agriculture. If you don't know that one, that was basically a 2.5, 3-year work program using 6 topics like livestock, soils, risk management, adaptation, socioeconomic issues, mitigation. And then we had workshops and reports on that. And these reports contain a lot of information. And then the question was, what do we do with that? So because of the COP decision that has established our work program, we knew we had to report back to the COP. So basically we had to say what we have done and what we want to use it for. And so we agreed on another 4-year work program, but it's basically only focusing on implementation, meaning how can we make use of what we have in the reports? And what does that mean in practice? Well, we will first have a bit more of working together between countries, between organizations and countries. We will basically tell the other UN bodies what we think is important when it comes to giving support to agriculture. So as an example, if you have a program for smallholder farmers, then in our reports, we have listed the issues that are of highest importance, let's say, so that these programs or measures can then be made the right way, so that you spend the money on measures that are the most needed, to put it shortly. Then, of course, we want to influence what happens outside the UNFCCC, because what we do is basically establish broad rules for everybody that everybody agrees on. But then how do you influence what happens on the ground? And that's also done through international cooperation. You have organizations like the World Bank, the FAO, IFAD, other donors. And we want them to take a look at what we have as results so that they can do the same, basically spend their money in a way in a way that would be helping the farmers on the ground, smallholder farmers in developing countries. And to do that, use our criteria that we have established through our workshops and all that is contained in the reports. It addresses also the vulnerabilities of farmers in developing countries. There's a clear link to the need to carry out adaptation action, but also mitigation action, that there are co-benefits and that we will try to use a food systems approach. We were not able to get this reference to the food systems everywhere in the text. There was a lot of resistance from some countries, also from developing countries. I still do not really know why, but we need to find out and see what we can do to have a better understanding of this term food systems. We also want an active contribution of farmers in the work ahead. So if we have other meetings and workshops, we, like in the past, want to also invite practitioners, so to have a close link with what happens on the ground. Then also what we have achieved is that we make the link to national plans and strategies, and that's where most of the action is. So if in your country there are programs to have more sustainability in agriculture, to support smallholder farmers, then what we would like to see is that countries also refer to what we have achieved in the agriculture agenda item under the COP, and that it leads to an improved national plan or improved NDC, because that's at the end of the day what everybody has right now. And we do not know yet what the first subject is we will work on, because we will have further workshops, but we need to agree on the first subject during our next session in Bonn, but that will not be too difficult. And we are generally happy that we could agree on a way forward on how to make use of all of our results we had from the, now with COVID, the last 4 years, basically. And there was a lot of discussion on, do we want a permanent body? Like Domenico has explained before, under the UNFCCC, you have what you call the subsidiary bodies, like the Green Climate Fund, the Adaptation Fund. But to have a specific body for agriculture wouldn't have solved any of our problems, because we already have an agenda item. We can conclude and decide on whatever we want to do. So at the end of the day, we decided to keep on doing what we are doing under the heading that we have, and just give it a new mandate, and was the easiest solution for everybody. It was not an easy discussion. It was very conflictual, partly, but that's how it always goes. It's a very important topic for many people. Yeah. That's about, in a nutshell, what happened there. It is, of course, linked to all the other results of the COP. So whenever you talk about this Sharm el Sheik implementation plan, then now you know agriculture is also part of this. Then you also have discussions on carbon markets that are still ongoing. The loss and damage discussion that has been talked about, where it was also the EU that made the first step and said, let's do this. And let's come up with a system how to put money in such a fund and who is eligible to get money out of such a fund. But this discussion will take a little bit longer than just one conference. So expect this to be solved over 1 or 2 COPs additional. Do you have any questions?
Thank you, Herwig, for your presentation, first of all. Please, if you have some questions, let's take the chance now. So, yes. Oh,
Please.
here one, please.
Yeah.
Yes, Herwig. My name is Irwan Rusli. I'm from United States. I have an institute, small institute, dealing with the poverty alleviation, agriculture area, and dealing with the poor farmers.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we have a program in Kenya, Congo, and Uganda, testing the concept that I developed, dealing with basically from an investor, provide some fund
Mm-hmm.
for the farmer to buy seeds, fertilizer, and all the labor needed to work on the land. So all this fund will be provided by the investor, and then at the end, after harvest, this money is returned back to the investor, and the investor might be required zero interest, or maybe 5% or 10% of the harvest share.
Yeah.
So maybe the farmer could get as high as 90% of the share of the harvest, and maybe there's some manager 10-15%, depending on the how many farmer that can be managed by a manager. So my point is that I think this concept is good in the sense that the farmer doesn't have to be coming out of any money, zero from their pocket. There's a need to have borrow money from the bank or from other private, to lending the money. And the thing is, it's a social aspect because they are dealing with the poor. So this investor is willing to lose money in case something bad happens. So in case say flood, make it zero harvest, then the investor willing to lose that. Maybe if it is 50% loss, they're willing to lose some money. But the farmer is always obtain something, whether the farmer or whether the worker who help the farmer with the income of the daily income, they have some supplemental income. So if everything going normally, then the farmers would get 70% of the harvest share, and the worker also get some income in the daily work, and the investor might also get some, maybe 5%, maybe less, depending on what they like to do, and they can also share this profit to other social impact like orphanage or other vulnerable people who cannot, that have to be helped socially. So I was wondering, how do I go to try to test this further? For example, in Congo, we are testing this program in 1 hectare of land, growing peanuts. The interesting part of peanut is food system, first of all, and can be made further in terms of value added to make peanut butter. That has been recognized, best right now for the refugee camp and so on. So how do we promote this concept where somebody has some money to invest, they will get their return, the money returned back, and the farmer who doesn't have to come up with anything will guaranteed income when it is harvest time. Of course, this requires honesty, integrity from the farmers, and in terms of the make sure everything is run according to the plan, maybe going through SOP. So give me some kind of suggestion from your point, how one can start this program in terms of a more widespread. That's my question. Thank you.
The work, thank you. The work we do under the UNFCCC, we do not hand out money. What we do is we agree on principles that everybody should act on. You can have a project financed by the national authorities in the country that you are working. You can try to get into contact with other NGOs and donor organizations if you want to make it bigger in terms of impact. For that, I would say the results of the Coronivia joint work might help, because it basically asks all these international organizations and also the countries to work together more, but we cannot do the work for them. So you need to contact the authorities or the ministries in the country that you want to work on, and also all the international organizations that normally do this kind of job. I just know that the EU has, for many countries in the developing country world, programs on agriculture. I don't think we work with microcredits, but I don't exclude it. I don't know all the projects by heart. I know that Brazil has something in place that is similar. They are loaning money to farmers at a 0 interest rate. So you would need to get into contact with people from Brazil, might even be from the agriculture ministry. They can give you more information on that. But such a direct impact is not foreseen for our work at the negotiations. So we are not doing the work of national administrations or other similar organizations.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you very much. And as I mentioned also, this can be a very small investment. Like for peanuts in 1 acres for one farmer is only like $500. That kind of
Yeah.
small
No, I
investment.
understood.
Thank you. And
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Yes, actually, as Herwig was mentioning, now the importance also of the recop from COP is that is like the COP and the negotiation are creating enabling environments, and that's the very important, and that's why it's important, for example, to follow up these processes and to also report on what's happening. They are like framing in a way the rules of the games, you can say. But as Herwig was mentioning and suggesting, then NGOs, foundation, and private sector need to interact from by themselves into this enabling environment. Of course, as more these negotiation are participated, even by the stakeholders. For example, as I said, there is the constituency of farmers, there is the group also is working on trade unions. So there are different actors that work together to reach the best results in terms of enabling environment. That's why it's important. We think that was important also for the GCSAYN network to create a moment to report what's happening during the. Okay, thank you, Herwig, for your interaction. Thank you, everyone, for the question. I don't know if there are any other questions. I'm Momad. Hi, thank you for joining. Yes, actually, I think that I know Ropa from Ethiopia that was part of with me, the delegation of the GCSAYN, and very thankful for all to join. If you have some question, please take the chance.
Hello. Hello.
Hi, Momad, please.
How are you?
Fine, thanks.
I'm from Ethiopia. I think the agenda is climate smart agriculture, I think.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, we can hear you.
Climate smart agriculture, I think. Agenda. Hello?
Thank you. Yes. Do you have a question?
The agenda, I think, climate smart agriculture for use. Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, but I participate now lately, I know, but climate change and the climate adaptation program is important for us to discuss with you. We can get more experience and more practical knowledge from you. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Yeah.
Are you hear me?
Yes.
Then we can learn more knowledge or practical. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Then we need to exchange more knowledge from you. I think you are the moderator. I think I have got the link for the website, WhatsApp website.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you very much, Mohammed. Actually,
Okay.
I take the chance from the comment of Mohammad to say one thing. He said about knowledge transfer and so on. Is not just related to the food system, but one thing that I can report in general from this scope is that the discussion about capacity building regarding climate action has been crucial and central in several negotiations, not only in the food system. And I think it's
Yes.
a key important. Yes, Mohammed, please.
Okay.
Uh,
Mm.
yeah, I was saying that capacity building has been crucial for the climate action and has been in several discussions inside COP. And it's important. It's important because sometimes we have already the knowledge, but maybe more knowledge is not accessible as is not, we can say, distributed. And so events like these, even the we can say virtual academy, and then I will take the chance to give the floor back to Divine to say a few words about the initiative of the virtual academy, can represent really a real commitment towards like climate action and implementation, as was the message of this call. So I don't know,
Okay.
Divine,
No
yes,
problem. No
yeah.
problem. I will share my email.
Yes. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Once more. Thanks very much. Thanks very much, my brother, for giving me another opportunity. Yeah. Actually, I'm very happy to meet you, negotiate on agriculture and food systems. I have to emphasize here that I'm equally one of the food system champion appointed by the UN Secretary General. I was very much instrumental together with CSAYN agenda to make sure that the food system process went fruitful, and that's for that reason we actually were able to lead the food system process for 18 months. Yes, with Agnes Kalibata, or the special envoy, and CSAYN was equally endorsed as the best champion or the mobilizer. Yeah, so that's said and done. I've been attending COP since 2011, which is COP27 in Durban. And one of the key things I've fully understood and realized was that within the scope of work, I've been able to link up with very great minds and equally experienced people. One of the issues that we actually thought about around CSAYN, we believe that capacity building strengthening in conference rooms is not going to work anymore. So we decided to develop strategic programs whereby we engage primary, secondary, tertiary, and technical education, or TVET, or at the highest level, to come up with some very clear-cut definition of what exchange program is all about, whereby at the level of primary schools, we shall be offering internship programs and mentorship programs, and equally capacity building and exchange programs to these primary school people, because we have come to understand within our 10 years of work that when you mess up your primary education, you become, I won't use useless person, but you become somebody who's not really influential and impactful in society, no matter how many PhD you're gonna have. So that's why we looked at it as a niche to focus on as a gap. And then the other area we came to realize and equally found it very necessary to embark on was establishing agricultural crops at level of primary, secondary, and tertiary education, which has not existed before. So I think this year with the COP actually endorsing the food system pavilion was equally very a milestone, which we actually at the level of CSAYN are grateful for, and equally thank the negotiators for making this happen. And of course, we shall make sure that the virtual academy we've set up, which is actually a framework, it is not a program, but it's a framework, a platform that actually facilitates the implementation of all our flagship programs, be it the children and youth in agriculture, be it the women in agriculture, sustainable Africa, be it the ICT for agriculture, be it the TIP program, which is the exchange program, all what we are doing, be it the domestication and localization of SDGs. This is a platform that we're going to be implementing on. And that has always been our dream. That's why to be a center of excellence within this framework of implementation, you need, number one, you need to provide us with an office space within your institution, be it an organized, be it a university or a TVET institution or primary or secondary school. And secondly, you need to, by all costs, provide us space for demonstration. So this exchange program is much more of hands-on training. It's not going to be office or maybe classroom work anymore. There's going to be hands-on training from on the field. So all these schools we've been working with, all these universities we are collaborating with, have given us this space. And that's why we think that this discussion here is very important, because without food system being transformed, without agricultural and agri-food systems being well articulated in all negotiations, nothing going to work. Of course, the Ukraine and the Russian crisis have taught us that we cannot do without food. That's just it. So I tell medical doctors that you may not be useful if the food system is not broken, if it's transformed and it is well strategized and really tailored in what we want to do. If it's Russia's still not going to go to hospital. So really, we are very, very happy, Vito, for this call, and we are inviting all those that have not yet signed up within their universities to be a center of excellence, that this is the time to do so. Thank you very much indeed. Over.
Thank you very much, Divine. So we have a space for one last question for our speaker and in general from the discussion.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes, Mohammed.
Yeah. Yes. This program is important for us. You know, our region is arid in the semi-arid areas of lowlands. Semi-arid areas of lowlands. We need this program. We need internship. The first one is the climate change effects. The first one is soil. You know, if you have a soil capacity program, we need a soil fertility, soil database, because everything is starting from the soil. This program is vital for us. We need knowledge transfer for climate change, climate adaptation program, climate smart agriculture. You know, I'm working in Ethiopia, Afar region, Bureaus of Livestock Agriculture and the Natural Resource, and the Natural Resource Director. And I need to participate with your program. We need, and if you have a capacity building the internship program, this is for importance for us. Thank you.
Thank you to you, Ahmad. I think that now we can close the session. I really thank Herwig for being our guest today, and also for have given his time for sharing the more deep insights on the Sharm el Sheik joint work. Thank you, Herwig, for being with us, and let's foster on implement also climate action in agriculture. Thank you to Divine for participating to the call and also presenting the virtual academy that I all invite to know more about. We will share also on our channels about the virtual academy. Thank you also for the question and the interaction of all the audience and for this participation. So let's close the call now and have a nice day to all. Bye. Yes, sure. For Carolina, we will share the recording.
Hi.
Bye.
Hi, Domenico. Hi, Domenico.
Hi, Dumbre. Hi. Thank you.
Yeah. I was
Bye.
here and I was listening very carefully. And this is one of the important and very good discussion, I will say.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Pleasure. I received that you like. Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye all. Bye-bye all.
Okay, thank you. Okay.